Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel for my returning viewers. I am coming on to give an update on my Zepbound journey, coming from the 5 milligrams dose to the 7.5, so my titration from those two doses. If you are new to my channel, I am currently sharing my journey on my GLP-1 medication Zepbound, which has the active ingredient Tirzepatide. I've been on this journey since April of this year. It is now December, so it'll be almost 8 months that I've been on this GLP-1 journey. And if you're interested in some of the earlier times or earlier doses of medication or information I've provided, go back and watch some of those videos as well, because I have shared my experience from the dose that I take, which was the first dose of the 2.5 medication that is also on my channel as well. Today, I'm coming on to share, as you can tell by the title, my titration from the 5 milligrams dose to the 7.5 milligrams dose, and to give you guys a little more information on what it was like on the 5 milligrams dose and all of that information as well. So if you're interested in that, thank you for tuning in and keep on watching. So with that, let's get started. I don't want this to be a super long video. I do have my notes here, so I might be looking down just to make sure that I share the information that I wanted to put in this video and try to make sure that I shared what I thought would be helpful for someone who may be looking for the information who has clicked on this video. So I am going to share. So I was on the 5 milligrams dose from, oh, I thought I wrote it down here, but I did. But I started in June on the 5 milligrams dose, and then my last shot was in October. So I did a total of 16 weeks on the 5 milligrams dose with this, which is, equivalent of 4 months on that dose for 5 milligrams. So I did 5 milligrams for 4 months. I started my GLP-1 journey on the 2.5, which everybody has to start typically on the 2.5 milligrams dose. I did the 2.5 milligrams dose for 2 months, and then I moved to the 5 milligrams dose after that. And I stayed on the 5 milligrams dose again, like I just said, 16 weeks or 4 months, however you want to say it. So I ended up having to move up, not because I had stalled on the 5 milligrams dose. I did not stall, but I was starting to see a decrease in my progress. So my doctor and I decided that it was time to bump me up to a higher dose of the medication, which is why I went up to the 7.5 milligrams dose. So going back to the 5 milligrams dose, the total weight loss that I had on that was 21.6 pounds. That was my total weight loss for the 4 months that I was on that dose. I should have averaged it out. I might do an average when I'm editing and put it somewhere here so I can share like what the average was per week on weight loss. I think that information will be helpful as well. So I'll put that up here. So that was my total weight loss, 21.6 pounds on the 5 milligrams dose, which is also great for 4 months. I think that's still a pretty good number for the time frame that I was on the 5 milligrams dose. So as I just shared, we moved up because I was starting to decrease in progress. So I started the 7.5 in October. My first week or my first shot for the 7.5 milligrams dose was October 10th. I take my shot on Thursdays. I did not start taking it on Thursdays. I started back a few months ago taking my shot on Thursdays because I've always typically experienced fatigue when taking this medication. So I decided to start taking it on Thursday because I didn't want to be fatigued all throughout my weekend. So I typically work from home on Fridays, so I figured if I take it on Thursdays, if I'm fatigued on Friday, I can get out my system on Friday and be good for the weekend. I also started taking my shots at night because I learned that taking them at night and just going right to sleep, it would help combat that fatigue symptom that I was experiencing. And that has also been very helpful as well. So that has been another tip that I have learned on this journey. Taking this medication, I take it on Thursday so that I can be good for the weekend, and then I also take my shot at night or in the evening right before bed so that I can go to sleep, and then it helps combat the fatigue, and it has helped. So if you're experiencing fatigue, try that. It should help for you. If not, then consult your doctor or something. I'm not sure. So, yep, again, October 10th was the first day that I took my 7.5 milligrams dose of the Zepbound medication. Side effects. So I did not experience a lot of side effects. I did share some of my side effects experience in my previous titration video. I don't want to go over that again. in totality for the 5 milligrams dose. So if you are interested in knowing some of those side effects, I would encourage you to go back and watch that video and learn some of the information I shared on my experience on that. So I will say though, I did experience some nausea on the 7.5 milligrams dose. It wasn't a lot. Like, I didn't feel like anything was going to come up in particular, but I did kind of feel the feeling of nauseousness, if that makes sense. So that was something that I kind of experienced. It was very mild. It was kind of, touch and go. It came and went, but I did experience that. I did also kind of experience some food aversion a little bit. If somebody was in the house cooking something, I could smell it and it was, kind of make my stomach turn just a little bit. So that was one symptom that I will say that I experienced on the 7.5 milligrams dose. I don't recall experiencing that as much. I think I did in the 5 milligrams dose slightly, but again, it wasn't a whole lot. 2.5 milligrams dose, I didn't have any symptoms. So that was something new, I feel, for the 7.5 milligrams dose when it comes to side effects. I did also experience slight constipation. I don't want to get too graphic in this video, but let's just say it was slight constipation because I was able to go, but it took some work. I hope that makes sense on what I'm trying to share on that. So just slight constipation. It didn't last long. I think it was like maybe a couple of days or so, and then I was good to go after that. As some of you may know, or I've shared in previous videos, I started taking super greens a few months back, and that has helped me a lot with the bloating and with the constipation. So if you have experienced constipation on your journey, or if you're getting started on this journey and you're concerned about that, because I do know that that's one of the things that are the side effects that a lot of providers do share with their patients in regards to this medication, is the nausea and the constipation for sure. Because my doctor even offered to prescribe me medication for nausea when I first started this journey. So if you are looking for some things to help you on this journey to combat some of those side effects, I would encourage you to for sure look into getting some super greens to take while taking this medication. It's really, really good on this journey. I swear by it. I don't drink it every day. I try to drink it at least 5 days a week, usually during the weekday. And then on the weekends, I don't really drink it that much unless I've missed a day or so on the weekday, and then I'll go ahead and drink some on the weekend. So that has been really helpful. It has helped with my bloating, which I experienced a lot earlier in this journey. And again, with the constipation, I really, really believe that it would also help with that as well. Also, making sure that you drink plenty of water is also important with helping. That also helps with fatigue, I've learned as well, making sure that you are hydrated and have enough water in your system that will help with combating the fatigue side effect, and it also helps with the constipation as well. So get you some super greens, and also make sure that you keep track of drinking plenty of water as well on this journey to help combat those side effects as well. Another one, yeah, that was it for side effects. I'm sorry. That was it for side effects. So another difference I will say that I noticed when taking the 7.5 milligrams dose is my appetite increased. Like, I was hungry. I would wake up, and typically I wake up in the morning and I do have my coffee, and I put protein and collagen in my coffee. Typically every morning during the weekday. I don't put collagen in my coffee on the weekends, but I do still use protein in my coffee every single day. So I would wake up, I would obviously make my coffee with the protein and collagen during the week, and then I also wanted some breakfast to go with it. And that was a difference that I noticed from taking the 5 milligrams dose to the 7.5, because when I was on the 5 milligrams dose, I would be okay with my coffee, and then maybe an hour or so afterwards, I could eat something. And sometimes I would even have to be like, I need to eat, like just pretty much make myself eat something to make sure that I, have some nutrients in my system. So that's the difference I noticed on the 7.5. I didn't have to think about or make sure that I ate. I was hungry. I had the hunger pain, not hunger pain, but I just, I was hungry and my body was telling me that I needed to eat, so I would. So I did have to make sure that I was really, really conscious about what I ate. I didn't want to give in to any of the food noise that I experienced before taking this medication. So I made sure that I kind of maintain a proper diet while taking the 7.5 milligrams dose. So that's something else that I would say pay attention to or be aware of when you are titrating from the 5 milligram dose to the 7.5. So making sure that you have proper food ingredients. And when I say proper, of course, protein is really, really big on when taking this medication. You need to get the proper protein and making sure you're getting all of your protein in a day. Also, obviously getting in your vegetables as well. And then, some fruit and, that kind of thing as well too. I did experience some like sweet cravings while on the 7.5 milligrams dose. So that is something else too that you want to kind of be conscious or aware of, and maybe make sure that you have some things available to help with that craving as well, to help you be able to stay on track so that you can keep on your goals and make sure that you're progressing even throughout the 7.5 journey as well. So that is it for that, as far as some other experiences that I had on the 7.5 milligrams. So, and I'm saying had because I have moved up to the 10 milligrams dose as of right now, but this is not about 10 milligrams. So we're going to talk about that. So the time that I was on the 7.5 milligrams dose was 4 weeks. Now, I do want to share a little more. I know some of the people who have been watching my videos for a while now are aware of this whole journey and everything, but in case you are not aware, so my doctor wanted to keep me on the 7.5 milligrams dose, and I also wanted to stay on the 7.5 milligrams dose because I was seeing results on that. And I've shared this in one of my previous videos as well, as far as titrating up, because my belief before getting on this medication or starting this journey was that titrating up was something you do monthly, and that is not the case at all. As I shared earlier in this video, I was on the 5 milligrams dose for 16 weeks before I moved up to another dose. I was on the 2.5 milligrams for 2 months before I even moved to the 5 milligrams dose. So my doctor and I wanted me to stay on the 7.5 milligrams dose as long as I could while I was still seeing results. Unfortunately, for me, my insurance doesn't want me staying on the 7.5 milligrams dose, so they wanted me to move up. So I needed my provider in her office to submit what is called a PLA, and that is something they have to submit so that you can stay on a particular dose. They have to, tell me, your insurance company, this is why I want this patient to stay on this dose, and the insurance company obviously either approves it or denies it. Well, they ended up sending in the wrong prior authorization, unfortunately. And by the time I was able to talk to my provider about it, it had been 2 weeks after I had taken my last shot that I had. And I needed to get my medication because I was out at that time. So we agreed to move on from the 7.5 milligrams dose and move up to the 10 milligrams instead of pursuing the PLA and getting approval for me to stay on the 7.5 milligrams dose. So that's why I was only on the 7.5 milligrams dose for 4 weeks. That is why I do know some people in the comments have also shared similar information in regards to their insurance not wanting them to stay on that dose longer than the 4 weeks as well. I guess it's just a dose that they just want you to transition on. So that's why they don't want us to stay on the dose. I guess some people may not experience seeing results on that dose. I did. I also know that there's some people who didn't experience seeing results on the 2.5 milligrams dose, and I did as well, which is why I stayed on it for 2 months instead of moving right up to the 5 milligrams dose. So unfortunately, the PLA was not able to be submitted, and it was just better, instead of submitting the PLA and waiting for a response, for me to just move up after the 4 weeks instead of being able to stay on the 7.5 milligrams dose of the Zepbound. So total weight loss on the 7.5. So give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry. So total weight loss on the 7.5 milligrams dose for the 4 weeks was 7.4 pounds. That's why I wanted to stay on it. That is really, really good results. And again, I'll probably post the average when I edit the video to share like what it was per week on average. So actually I can probably share, let's see. I have an app. I have an app that I'm using now. It's called Shotzi. I just started using this app about a week ago, and I had to go back and add in all of my shots from April, which was cool. I totally didn't mind because it's a really, really nice app. So let's see here. So, okay, so on week 1 of taking the 7.5 milligrams dose, I was at 186.2. Then I actually went up to 186.8 the week after that, and then I went down to 183. I remember having that big dip, and I knew I probably would. And as I've shared in previous videos as well, you have to factor in, especially for us women, you have to factor in our cycle for the month, because that plays a part in seeing results on the scale. And you don't want to also just lean on the numbers on the scale as well. I've also learned that, or I've been told by a provider previously before, that instead of weighing in weekly, she suggested that I just do it every month or once I've completed a box of whatever dose that I'm on. So that it was something to think about. I still weigh in every week just because I like tracking that way. So that's why there was, you know, a big difference from the week 1 of taking the 7.5 milligrams dose to the week 3 of taking it, because all that stuff plays a part. And then on my last week of taking it, I had gotten down to 179. So that was a 3-pound difference for sure. And then after my last week, I was on a 178.2. So those are the results of week by week of what I lost on the 7.5 milligrams dose on the Zepbound. So I think that is all I have to share. Hopefully this has been helpful for you. Let me know if you have questions in the comments. I try my best to answer or respond to all of the comments in my videos. So if you have more questions, just let me know. I'll try to be as transparent as possible. I hope this video was helpful and informative for you. And yeah, if you are just starting your Zepbound journey, congratulations. Welcome to the Zepbound family. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Join me on my journey. I do post weekly videos as well on my journey, just sharing what is going on for that week on whatever particular dose that I've been taking. Like I said, I just started the 10 milligrams dose after taking the 7.5, so I've been sharing that experience as well. And then I will also share a titration video on that once I've been on the 10 milligrams dose, and I have more information on what my experience is on the 10 milligrams dose. So keep up with me, keep track. Let's do this journey together. Share your experience in the comments. Again, if you have questions, share those in the comments as well. I wish you well on all of your journeys, no matter what, if you're on Zepbound or whatever GLP-1 medication you're on. I wish everyone well on their journeys, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.